Who saw this coming? Elon Musk-led group makes a $97.4 billion bid for control of OpenAI. And yes, this is real. This actually happened. And man, is there a lot to discuss.
Hi, Kate. Hi there, Morgan. So an Elon Musk-led group of investors is reportedly making a $97.4 billion bid for control of the nonprofit arm of OpenAI. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. This appears to be an unsolicited offer filed by Musk's attorney and then submitted to the OpenAI board of directors. OpenAI did not immediately respond to requests for comments. So the Journal saying the bid is being backed by Musk's own AI company, xAI, which they say could eventually merge with OpenAI if this deal goes through. He also has several venture investors backing him, according to the Journal. This could throw a wrench in OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's plans to convert to a for-profit. The nonprofit arm, as the plan is right now, would still exist as part of that and then be spun out as part of OpenAI's current plan. It would still own equity in the new public benefit corporation. But this is getting messy, guys. In a statement provided by Musk's lawyer, he says, quote, "It's time for OpenAI to return to the open source, safety-focused force for good it once was." Quote, "We will make sure that happens." And it comes as sources separately telling me OpenAI right now is in the middle of raising money from SoftBank at a $300 billion post-money valuation. It's raising about $40 billion. But Musk was a co-founder of OpenAI, guys. But this is the latest in the back and forth between these two major AI companies and major players at this point.
We'll read the full article in the Wall Street Journal shortly, but we do have an update. Scam Altman posting this on X. "No thank you, but we will buy Twitter for $9.74 billion if you want." Note the intentional use of the previous name of the platform as opposed to its current name of X. Elon Musk responds, "Swindler," which is completely fair. You know why OpenAI is called OpenAI, right? Its founding principles, in the interest of AI safety, was that it would be open source and not for profit. Today, in the process of becoming the polar opposite of its founding principles, and OpenAI took huge amounts of money from early investors based on its mission of being open source and not for profit. It's absolutely not right or ethical or moral, and surely can't be legal to take investors' money, investors who are investing in a company whose mission centers around AI safety, and core to that mission is being open source and not for profit. And then for this entity to suddenly pivot 180 and become closed source and for profit. But that's exactly where we find ourselves today. And to be clear, this is not a bid to buy OpenAI. This is specifically for control of the not-for-profit arm of OpenAI. So the article, "This unsolicited offer complicates Scam Altman's plans to convert OpenAI to a for-profit company." A consortium of investors led by Elon Musk is offering $97.4 billion to buy the non-profit that controls OpenAI, upping the stakes in his battle with Scam Altman over the company behind ChatGPT. I would like to add some context for those who don't know. Musk has already founded xAI, and out of almost nowhere, in literal world record time, they've put a gigantic training supercluster, have an excellent language model, excellent image generation model as well. And the next iteration of Grok 3, is likely to be on par with, if not ahead of, the current best in class, best in the world language models. So before any dimwits attempt to argue that this is for commercial reasons or Musk just trying to buy the technology or gain a commercial advantage, no. He's just trying to ensure that this company does what it set out to do originally, instead of committing one of the greatest swindles in history, taking investor money under false pretenses, doing a massive pivot. I mean, I can't emphasize enough. OpenAI is in the process of becoming exactly what it was set out to avoid happening. It's not just like it's changed a little bit, the polar opposite. So Musk's attorney said he submitted a bid for all the non-profit's assets to OpenAI's board of directors on Monday. Now, it is important to understand that a company's board of directors has a fiduciary responsibility. Key among these fiduciary duties is to protect the interests of the corporation and, importantly, to act in the stockholders' best interests. So put a pin in this. We'll come back to it. It's very important. The unsolicited offer adds a major complication to Conman's carefully laid out plans for OpenAI's future, including converting it to a for-profit company and spending up to $500 billion on AI infrastructure through a joint venture called Stargate. He and Musk are already fighting in court over the direction of OpenAI. Quote, "It's time for OpenAI to return to the open source, safety-focused force for good it once was," Musk said in a statement provided. Quote, "We will make sure that happens." Now again, I just want to emphasize, you can take Elon at his word here. That's what's going on here. That's why he's doing this. There's nothing more to it than this, okay? OpenAI, in a nutshell, was founded to prevent a potential AI apocalypse scenario, or at least dramatically reduce the chance. And in being both closed source and this massive pivot to for profit, instead of reducing this risk, it's only going to massively amplify it. This can't be allowed to happen. Altman and Musk co-founded OpenAI in 2015 as a charity. In 2019, after Musk left the company and Conman became the chief executive, OpenAI created a for-profit subsidiary that has served as a vehicle for it to raise money from Microsoft and other investors. Conman is in the process of turning the subsidiary into a traditional company and spinning out the non-profit, which would own equity in the new for-profit. One of the thorniest questions in the conversion has been how the non-profit will be valued. Musk's bid sets a high bar and may mean that he, or whoever runs the non-profit, would end up with a large and possibly controlling stake in the new OpenAI. Remember I said we'll put a pin in the board of directors and their fiduciary duties, right? Well, if this offer on paper for the non-profit portion of the company is extremely generous, e.g. a very good price, and the board of directors has a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of shareholders, what would be directly in the best interest of the shareholders if a very high, generous offer comes in is to accept that offer. And I think this might be the strategy from this Musk-led group of investors. Offer a very generous price, so generous the board of directors can't say no, and gain a controlling stake so OpenAI can get back to its fucking mission. The bid is being backed by Musk's own artificial intelligence company, XAI, which could merge with OpenAI following the deal. He also has several investors backing him, including Valor Equity Partners, Barron Capital, shout out to Ron Barron, a bunch of others, including a venture firm led by Palantir's co-founder Joe Lonsdale, and Ari Emanuel, the CEO of Hollywood company Endeavor. For those who don't know, Endeavor owns UFC. And Musk actually had a brief 12-month stint on their board of directors. So Endeavor's CEO is also backing the offer through his investment fund. Musk has filed a series of legal complaints accurately accusing OpenAI of betraying its original non-profit mission by creating a for-profit arm and colluding with its largest investor, Microsoft, to dominate the development of AI. On January 7th, Musk's attorney sent a letter to the attorneys general in California, where OpenAI is based, and Delaware, where it's incorporated, asking that they open up bidding for the company to determine the fair market value of its charitable assets. Musk and other critics have said they believe OpenAI may undervalue the non-profit when they spin it out. OpenAI has called Musk's legal claims baseless and overreaching and said the non-profit will receive full value in its ownership stake of the for-profit. The company released documents in December that it said showed Musk previously supported turning OpenAI into a for-profit but walked away because he couldn't get control of it. Importantly, Musk's attorney says that Musk's investor group is prepared to match or exceed any bids higher than their own. Bitches. So they are not fucking around. And remember, you do not want to bet against Elon Musk. Quote, if Scam Conman and the present OpenAI Inc. board of directors are intent on becoming a fully for-profit corporation, it is vital that the charity be fairly compensated for what its leadership is taking away from it, which is control over the most transformative technology of our time. The day after President Trump was inaugurated, Conman appeared alongside him and other business leaders to announce a plan called Stargate to invest up to $500 billion over the next 4 years in US data centers. Interestingly, at the time too, when Trump said to Scam Altman, anything you'd like to add, he basically said, no, there's nothing I'd like to add. Cool, thanks bro, let's go. Pretty strange. Hours after the White House press conference, Musk claimed on X that Stargate's backers didn't have the promised money and called Conman a swindler. I mean, obvious things are obvious. Of course they didn't have the money at the time. My assumption was that they'd have to raise fuck tons of capital to pull this off. Musk just pointing out the obvious doesn't mean they can't deploy all that capital over time, but bro, imagine thinking a couple of key investors have $500 billion just sitting around to drop on day one. Even before Musk's latest move, OpenAI faced numerous obstacles in what would be one of the biggest ever conversions of a charity to a for-profit company. Meta Platforms sent a letter to California's Attorney General in December, expressing its opposition to the plan. And OpenAI is locked in negotiations with Microsoft and other stakeholders over how much equity they should receive in the new company. OpenAI has pledged to complete the transition by late 2026 as part of a $6.6 billion funding round in October that valued it at $157 billion. Now this is worth just taking a pause. $157 billion. The offer from this Musk-led group, roughly $100 billion. Sounds generous to me. And, let's just be real here. The quote via Musk's attorney is that the group of investors are willing to pay whatever the fuck they need to. They are willing to match or exceed any bids higher than their own. So as of October 2024, the full entity, keep in mind this offer today, around $100 billion, was valued at $157 billion. There are rumours that separately in talks to raise up to another $40 billion in a new funding round, which would value the company much higher than the 157. Apparently, SoftBank leading this round with an investment of 15 to 25 billion. It will be interesting if SoftBank continues to remain interested in this. Now, this offer's been placed on the table. At this point, OpenAI are currently in the find out part of fuck around and find out. I do want to also add the original, let's just call it about 50 first employees at OpenAI are all on paper now worth, I believe, many hundreds of millions of dollars based on their equity. And I believe this equity is on a 4-year vesting schedule. You get 25% per year. So there's a strong incentive for early employees especially, and anyone who's been compensated in equity as in shares in the company, to stick around, to keep their heads down and to shut the fuck up about anything that might cause them A, to either be fired and or B, for them to just move on. Let's just say hypothetically you saw some totally inappropriate, horrible, dangerous things going on at the company, but you're a few months away from your next tranche of equity vesting, which alone could be worth like $50+ million, maybe more. That might create a strong incentive to just keep your head down and say nothing, right? Just wanted to feature one more short clip from the mainstream finance media covering this news. Be very interested to see if they have an unbiased perspective here, given the fact that the one true narrative is Elon bad.
The Wall Street Journal reporting an Elon Musk-led group is making a $97.4 billion bid for control of OpenAI. Is OpenAI for sale? Does that matter?
It really doesn't matter in this case, and this is an unsolicited bid from Elon Musk. I think what we all need to know here and understand here is that Elon Musk was originally a co-founder of OpenAI, but split with Sam Altman over a dispute about the direction of the future of the company, and has continued to really battle publicly with Altman over OpenAI's future. So this is his way of coming in and saying, you know, I have a different vision here. I'm just going to buy my way in. The amount, though, is pretty cheap for what we understand to be OpenAI's valuation. Bloomberg reported not too long ago that they are raising their latest round at a $300 billion valuation. So this bid, you know, if the board has to consider it at all, is much below what we see OpenAI raising money for.
Okay. It sounds like they think that this is an offer to acquire the entire company, not just the not-for-profit. Awkward. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Kind of a lowball offer, Alex. That was unsolicited, so
An unsolicited lowball offer.
Yeah.
All right.
Those don't usually go over very well if you're this seller or the potential seller.
I know, but from at least the reporting from the Journal, Sarah, those with Elon Musk and the consortium of investors, these are real companies, real deal with real money. Can you walk us through what we know on that front?
Well, the most interesting thing about this consortium, which includes folks like Joe Lonsdale and Ari Emanuel, is that OpenAI is, I should say, xAI, which is Elon Musk's OpenAI competitor, would be the vehicle through which he's making the bid. So it's not Elon Musk himself, it's xAI leading the bid along with this consortium of other VCs and investors, which is a unique way to do it considering that that is his newest company. So the idea, according to the Journal, would be that they would merge after this acquisition were to occur. Now, another complicating factor is that Sam Altman, who leads OpenAI, is in the process of turning that from a nonprofit into a for-profit company. So the valuation for OpenAI is somewhat of an open question right now, given that we have seen the nonprofit. We know that the nonprofit is engaged in this big AI infrastructure build-out called Stargate. But there are a lot of different entities here, and we're still learning more details about whether this bid occurred and the nature of the financing.
Got it. Okay, so Alex, for Sarah, Alex is sitting next to me.
Yes, it's okay.
Does Elon Musk want OpenAI to be a for-profit or a nonprofit company?
Well, he thinks that true to the spirit of how they started, they should be a nonprofit. But given that it's gone in this for-profit direction, he just wants to make sure that if somebody's going to control, if I'm not meaning to put words in his mouth, but if I'm Elon Musk and I want to see who's going to control the future of the most powerful technology in the world, you'd probably prefer it to be Elon Musk. So,
or practically anyone other than Scam Altman.
Well, I think that's really what we're talking about here. For profit and not for profit, that's more the stakes of the argument that he's having with Sam Altman. But let's be clear, Elon Musk is totally happy making money off of AI technology in his other companies. He's called Tesla an AI company. He has his XAI company. So he has no moral opposition to that. He just doesn't like the direction that OpenAI has taken since his departure.
In the end, this was inevitable. Musk has an extremely strong sense of justice, what's right and what's wrong. And if he's in a position to do something, to get involved and to help, he can't see anyone else willing or able, he can't help himself. Let's rewind the clock 2 years. Some guy posted on X, when is OpenAI going to rename to Closed AI? Elon responded to this, good question. And I think a couple of years later, we're about to find out the answer. And one final thing I'd like to point out, a lot of people have an extremely broken radar and they have a terrible time of reading people. Sam Altman is at least a sociopath. And this is not a derogatory term, it's just descriptive. Quite possibly a psychopath. His ability to remain entirely on the outside, completely stoic and non-reactive when getting grilled, something off there. And I suspect that Sam Altman may be more strategic than a lot of people would think, trying to portray himself through body language, through his tone of voice, posture, and even his online persona as non-threatening, as posing no danger, as soft, as gentle, as safe. Now, what are we looking at here? We've got some screenshots from some posts from Sam Altman. If I start going on and it appears that he does not ever use, or at least rarely uses, an uppercase letter, lowercase I, and a lowercase start of the sentence, another lowercase I, and poor punctuation and grammar, another lowercase I, and another lowercase I, yet another lowercase I, and another. So what's this guy writing and reposting this? Quote, if I write everything in lowercase, they will never suspect me of anything. Wait, is this guy with 3 first names suggesting that Sam Altman is attempting to outwardly convey the appearance of just being a soft, gentle little man who certainly couldn't be a psychopath doing dangerous or nefarious things? OP also posted this. I am so relatable like this, they can't even hear me slithering. Does anyone know what he meant by that? This is one bad dude, folks. His outwardly crafted and well-honed persona is but a mask. Run while you still can. Let's play a fun little game called Imagine If. Imagine if you were to start a company and raise money for investors, and the mission of your company was to make incredibly healthy, super affordable food available to the masses. That's your mission. That's what you're going to do. You raise money based on this mission. A few years later, you decide it's time for a quick pivot, and now, in fact, you're going to take that money that you've received from investors, the goodwill and everything you've built up so far, and you're actually going to start putting poison in your food and selling it for an extremely premium price with the express goal of killing people by poisoning your customers. The polar opposite of healthy and also extremely high prices, so not affordable either. The opposite of what you were founded on and the opposite of the mission that brought in the investor capital in the early days. Would that be okay? And the answer is no. That's exactly what OpenAI is doing right now under the, quote, leadership of Sam Altman. Complete inversion of their mission. It cannot happen. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.